Hello, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, please do so at Linda Cesar Cosplayer. You can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I know it has been a while, so welcome, welcome back. So for today's topic, we're gonna continually to talk about my journey as someone who have hearing loss. Um, and this is gonna be the closing videos in regard to that topic because I feel like I don't want to like prolong and like spending all of my time talking about it because I've made some pretty good videos about my hearing loss. So for this topic, it's gonna be dating life and social life. Um, Actually, my social life is well because I even though I'm shy and quiet at times, well most of the time, but I'm pretty very outgoing. I It depends on where I am. I tend to uh like very socialized. I can be socialized. There will be time where I'm very quiet. But I have no problem. I do not let me having hearing loss or speech impediment, um, speech problem stop me from enjoying life. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I've loved to do. I know I've been through so much in life that on and off, I kind of like has not been um physically active in doing activities such as hiking, drawing, painting, and all this kind of stuff. But I'm pretty much very socialized when it comes to doing things outside of home. Um as for doing activities with friends, I've had friends in the past that I did activities with. I don't know what happened, but I have but that doesn't stop me from still enjoying life. Um, I can have good time. I know how to have a good time with or without friends. Um, I know some people they're uncomfortable that they have to have somebody to go out and have a good time. I recently went to a concert by myself, and I also um went out to dinner afterward. It was fun. It's something I've been doing this since college days, so it's the norm for me. It's really not that bad, and you get to know who you are too. The more you hang out and with yourself and like spend time. And me as a Christian, I'm not really spending time by myself. I know Jesus is with me. So like the last time I went out, it was kind of like a date with Jesus, which is like second date with Jesus. But anyway, I just love doing things on my own. I do love doing things with other people too, but I also enjoy doing things on my own. It's a lot when it's come to make decisions like eating out, it's quicker and faster to just make a decision. Um as for dating life, all right. So talking to guys is not I have no problem talking to guys. I have no problem like with that area. The problem I have is not meeting a guy that is genuine. Um, I've had guy that I talk to just talking who has because I always let guys know from day one that I have hearing loss, and I have because of my hearing loss it caused me to have speech impediment. it's honestly, it's really not that bad. But for the men out there, they think that having hearing loss, me having hearing loss, I don't know, they make them uncomfortable. Whatever the reason is, I'll give an example. There was this guy that I was talking to, and after he heard my accent, he was like, "Oh, you have an accent?" I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "You happen to have speech impediment?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, gotta go. I can't do this. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So, so I was like, oh wow, okay. So when he hung up the phone, I was like, wow, I guess he won't talk to me because of my accent and the fact that I have speech impediment. I okay, well, all right, moving on. I didn't really like that. I did not let that bothers me much because I'm like, that's his he have right to make that decision, and I have right to be like, you know what, that's a good thing because we're not wasting each other's time. Over the years, I've had three men. Listen, before I say this, I'm a late bloomer. I've dated in my late 30s. I started dating like a little after 30 something. So so I actually I'm glad I waited long to date, but I've dated in my 20s, but in my 30s there were like three guys that I fell in love with. They were all the wrong guys, but and I did told all three of them that I had him lost. So the first guy that I ever fell in love with, you guys ready for this story? I've never told anybody about this. I don't think my family knows. I never told anybody except God that knows this. So this guy, when I told him I had hearing problem, he didn't really. I'm well. I don't know if he ever told me anything, but he didn't really like give me a hard time saying like, "Oh, you have a hearing problem," so I'm embarrassed or anything like that. He didn't say that, but he did have problem with me not being tall. 'Cause he was a tall guy. He's really tall, and I'm not. So for he's like right here and I'm right here. So imagine when he like when we first met, he was like, "Oh, you are not tall. You're sorry." I was like, "Yes, I am." But and I never really bothered asking him like, is that a problem? But obviously, it probably was a problem. But with him, he told his family that I have hearing loss, and I remember so he's Haitian, so his aunt, I believe that was his aunt when his aunt was alive, his aunt, I went to Haiti and his aunt was like, "Oh, Linda, I have some home remedy for you. All I gotta do is like do the home remedy and put it in your ears so your ears can be open so you can hear." And I remember my cousin was like, Linda, don't go over that people's house so they don't do nothing in your ears. And I think God I listened. And I thought it was weird. I'm like, what kind of medicine you gonna do in my ears? What you gonna do? You gonna put what in my ears? So I never really like questioned things because I was in my 20s and it was like the first man I ever fell in love with. So, I probably, if my cousin didn't say anything, I probably would have go over the house and they probably would have put some stuff in my ears. So that was the thing that the only thing that he ever his family ever say or did or wanting to do. The second guy, he he's a piece of wood. He Okay, the day he asked me to be his girlfriend, right? I found all of this after I get out of the relationship with him. So he was the second guy that I ever fall in love, deeply in love with, out of all the guys. So the day he asked me to be his girlfriend, we all went home, and he went on social media and put up a meme. And the meme was about people who are hard of hearing. I didn't even pay attention to that until when I was trying to get out of the relationship. So he also, when he posted, I'm like, oh, it's not a coincidence. But later, I'm like, the more I pay attention, I realized he was talking about me. So he also would like make comment like about people with hard of hearing, or people who have hearing loss. He would just like bluntly say random thing or post it on his Facebook or Instagram stories. And I just, in my mind, I was like, this is just a coincidence, I'm not in my mind, I was like, I'm not the only one with hearing problem. He probably talking about somebody else. But the entire time he was talking about me, I know you were talking about me. I ain't gonna say your name, but I know you were talking about me. You can deny it, but God don't lie. Uh, so I was like, okay, all right. I like, wow. So obviously, God do not genuine when it comes to accepting me having hearing loss. The problem is, I have no problem with not accepting me having hearing loss, but don't lie to yourself and don't lie to me, and we ain't gotta be together. The last guy that I was with, he I'm sorry. I'm laughing now because I'm healed from all of this. So this guy, obviously he watched all of my YouTube videos and how I talk about me having hearing loss and what people have said to me. So one of the things he said, we were having an argument, and he blurted out, "Oh, you deaf? You must be deaf, right?" I was like, "Oh, okay." My reaction was like, "I see what you're doing." I was really cool about it. I was like, in my head, I was thinking like, "I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I see what you're up to. You're trying to trigger me or anything." I said, "I'm not triggered because I already know from the last two guys that." In my head, I was thinking that I know the last two guys didn't really accept the idea of me being deaf or having an accent and having hearing problem. I already knew that. So that kind of made me realize, yeah, I'm sure there is a man out there for me that will accept all of this and all of this and all of this, all of it, baby. I know you out there somewhere. Oh goodness. Uh, so yeah, I, I just so these are the experience I had. I just kind of like accepted the normal, realizing that there are people who will not be okay with me having hearing loss. I strongly believe these men that were in my life were a little embarrassed of being with a woman with hearing loss or having an accent or having speech problem. I do believe they were embarrassed. They never admitted to me. So that's why behind closed door they were like make fun of me and say like, ha ha ha, I'm just laughing with you. But I ain't laughing, you the one laughing. So I don't know how we both laughing. You're laughing at me, not with me. So anyway, I just I just kind of like lately has been really taking time to get to know myself before I allow any man in my life. And I'm trying to figure out how do I test them to be sure that they generally are accepting. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all I have to say. In regard to social life and dating. Um, as I close this chapter in my life, I feel like God want me to do many other things. I don't know what they are yet, but I'm excited. I hope that you had the opportunity to sit down and walk to with the whole videos with me. Um, I don't know what the next topic gonna be. I don't know what the next thing going to be. But all I know is that I'm grateful that you're always able to sit down and watch these videos with me. And I hope this video was a blessing to you. And thank you so much for allowing me to have a voice, and I hope that I can be a voice to others. Even though you don't have hearing problem, hearing loss or speech problem, I do hope in any other areas in your life that you can look at these videos and say like, if I can do it, we can do it. I had to work on my confidence because I've always been a woman with confidence, but when you're around toxic men, um, insecurity men, it can do some damages in your life. I believe me, I strongly believe that I was a toxic person. I strongly believe that I was insecure because I've been around men that are toxic and insecure. Even they won't admit it, I know they were because of how they communicate to me. And I believe that they do not love themselves. Make me believe that I didn't love myself either. So it's a learning experience. And now that I know better, I'm moving forward. I know how to avoid negativity in my life, because at the end of the day, I will always have hearing loss unless God changes his mind and say, whoop, I'm going to get rid of your hearing loss for you, Linda. Only God knows. But in the meantime, I'm going to embrace all of me. And I hope that you are embracing all of you as well. So I'm sorry that this video is long, and I hope you stay a little longer and watch it throughout the entire video. Please comment, like, share, and I will see you all when I see you. And of course, remember, I love you. I love you and you, and Jesus love you more. Bye.